This is a continuation of lesson 7.4. All right. We're going to do this problem right here. I'm going to do it the long way first because it's not on video. Okay, the greatest common factor is not x minus 8 because that is not x minus 8. So we're going to adjust it to negative x plus 8. Then we got to take the negative out of there. So that will be negative 6. See what I'm doing?
X minus 8.
I know, I lost track of what I was doing. X minus 8. See, it's the same thing. Negative 6x, positive 48, but the negative is not a leading coefficient because it can't be. All right, so then we get x squared minus 6, x minus 8. Doesn't matter which one you write first. That is completely factored. This is equal to the original. I would prove it to you, but you just have to take my word for it because I don't want to multiply that right now. Let's do another one. Negative 4x squared x minus 3 plus 5, 3 minus x. Okay, 3 minus x is actually negative x plus 3. Take out a negative. So that allows you always, if this is backwards, to make that negative. Always. Okay, negative 4x squared plus 5. No. Negative 4x squared, x minus 3. What do I do with that? Negative 5, and now you can have x minus 3. If you can, no, plus.
I just want to remind you on video.
Negative x plus 3, negative 5x minus 3. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I was right. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Isn't that negative 5x?
Yeah.
Negative 5 times negative 3 is 15.
Yeah.
When you're double checking, you're actually doing it, reversed. Okay, so the final answer, negative 4x squared minus 5, x minus 3. What's the about? Negative leading coefficient. Out of here. 4x squared plus 5, x minus 3. I know it's a lot of work. Don't try to do this stuff in your head.
Where did that other x minus 3 go?
That's
Where
why
did
it's
that
so
go?
confusing.
What x minus 3?
That one.
Because you have.
And then
It's the greatest common factor.
And then so it's like 1.
Huh?
So then you only put 1.
Yeah, because then we.
Yeah, it's just like when you do 4x minus 6. This is 2 times 2x minus 2 times 3, right? Pulling out that 2. It's the same thing. The greatest common factor just happens to be a binomial. And the reason I showed you a weird one like that is because we're going to learn how to factor by grouping. That's what it's called. And here we go. 12a cubed minus 9. I have to definitely use my examples because if they don't come out pretty. If you do not put this one in order, you will have a binomial that's backwards here. That's all. It's not the end of the world. It's just a lot of extra work. But if you put these in order, 12a cubed minus 9a squared plus 20a minus 15, that won't happen. All right. This does not have a greatest common factor of all 4. But it has a greatest common factor here, and it has a greatest common factor here. So we're going to do something called grouping. We're trying to find what 2 binomials produced this answer. What's the greatest common factor here? 3a squared times 4a minus 3. What's the greatest common factor here?
5.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
What do we get here?
4. Negative 3.
You're always going to get the same thing. So your final answer, 4a minus 3, 3a squared plus 5. If you multiply this using FOIL, you will get that answer. I promise.
Can you show us?
No, that's just kind of a waste of time. You can always check it, by the way, on a test. Go back and multiply all your answers. Make sure you get all my questions. All right. Since that always happens, where it's the same binomial, you get to use a shortcut. Okay. All of these do not have a common factor. So we're going to factor by grouping. What is the greatest common factor here?
3x to the second.
3x squared times
1. Or 1.
X.
Minus 5.
and you get to write it again no matter what. Just write it. It's going to be it. And how do I get that back? Done. X minus 5, 3x squared minus 2. You can write this twice, always, if you have them in order. Now, if they were out of order, like say the 10 was here, and the negative 2x was here, then you have this mess. And you have to adjust it and all that. Don't go there. If you get it in the right order, your job is way easier. All that thing I just went through will never happen to you if you put them in the right order. Never. You can always write the same binomial twice. 6x cubed, 18x squared, plus x plus 3. Now this is a little weird what happens. Group it, group it. Greatest common factor.
6.
Times.
X.
3.
What's missing?
1.
A 1. Right? That's the only way to get that back. So final answer, x plus 3, 6x squared plus 1. Or you can write that one first. Doesn't matter which one you write first, ever. Some kids prefer to write that first. Some kids prefer to write that first. What I would write first is the one that has a negative in there, maybe. And then you can pull it out and it'll be in the front. In other words, let's say we had this negative, negative. Let's just say that's what happened to you. I would write this one first. And then you just pull that out and it's x minus 3. Okay? Remember, the negative always goes in the front. Okay? Ready for another one? I want you to try this one all by yourself on a... Oh, no, not this one. This one's a killer. I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to do it out of order, and then I'm going to do it in order. What would be first? What's the highest degree here? XY. What's the next highest degree? 1, right?
Yeah.
So it would be negative x. X comes before y. Plus 8y minus 8. Now I'm going to do this one because it's weird. Group it. What's the greatest common factor? 8. Y minus 1, right? Write it again. See, this is where kids struggle because it's not in the right order. But how will I get this back? Plus x. There's my plus xy. There's my negative x. Final answer, y minus 1. And then I would just go ahead and write x plus 8 instead of 8 plus x. So you don't have to do extra work. Now go here. What's the greatest common factor? X. Y minus,
1.
write it again, plus 8. It's just easier if you have them in order. Y minus 1, x plus 8. Same answer if you don't have them in order. Harder when you have them out of order. Do we have time for you to try one? Oh, we sure do. What time's class over?
23.
Oh, good. Now I'll give you a normal one to try, okay? And you might be completely lost, and that's okay. That's why we're not having homework. 15x squared minus 10x cubed, plus 8x minus 12. What's the
Out of order.
Out of order, so copy it in the right order. Copy it in the right order. Good, we'll have just enough time to stop the video when we're done with this problem. So I'm going to rewrite it in the right order too. And then you're going to group it. Go from there. Can't do it, Zach? It's all right. By the way, in case you didn't think of it, you should pull out a negative greatest common factor in those first two. Might as well get it out of there now. Right? See, the greatest common factor of these two is positive, but make it negative.
When you make it negative, do you have to like flip it around?
You flip the signs. Well, you just have to think, okay, what's the greatest common factor here? Negative 5x squared. I'm starting you right there. Okay. I did that so that I don't have a leading coefficient that's negative, making me have an extra step. It's okay to have an extra step, but no need for it. Think about what times what gives you that. Remember how to do this? You're welcome.
I'm getting tired over here.
I almost bought those shoes.
Yeah, no.
I have so many black and white shoes. It's my fave. Okay, I'm going to have to do it because I want it on video and we're almost out of time. Negative 5x squared times 2x. It checks.
Plus.
Minus positive 15, 3. Now, you have 2x minus 3. You write it again. And all you got to do is come up with any one of these, and that's the only way to do that is plus 4.
I think we should go to the board.
2x minus 3. Oh, we shouldn't have pulled out a negative.
Yeah.
I was very confused.
Oh! That's right. I pulled out a negative because I'm stupid. Now I got to get it out of there again. I'm so dumb. And it's 5x squared minus 4. I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm going to go back and do it the other way. Pulling out a positive. I wasn't thinking. I guess. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's take out a 5x squared. I wasn't thinking about this being a leading coefficient later. Okay, 5x squared. Oh, we're going to get it either way.
Yeah, you get it either
You
way.
get it either way. Because now we're going to have it here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Okay, it's fine. I did
Let's go
it
to the
right.
board, Ms. Stoner.
We can't go to the board because class is about over.
Well, we still got like
But you are